is Nancy. I'm assistant professor in IT department. I need to introduce Mr. Karthik Gupta. Karthik Gupta, the owner of RK Wall Coverings, which is the one of the oldest wallpaper shop in India, with the first store in Hoskas, New Delhi in 1984. Karthik joined the family business in 2004 and had expanded the retail business to 18 stores across India in the past, and then started with distribution of wallpapers in 2013. Has currently operating from South Delhi and Gurgaon, and the supplies of wallpapers to more than 200 retailers in India. Karthik Gupta loves decorating walls and is always looking out for a new designing and sources of wallpapers. He is an electronic engineer, has done MBA in finance and marketing from Ford School of Management. He loves analyzing data and use latest tools in business to organization and marketing. His motto in life is to stay focused and be consistent in their work, and things will happen for sure. So I welcome Mr. Karthik Gupta on behalf of our JIMS family and my IB students. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Sam, for introducing me to the group. I'm sure the students would really love this session. So let's get started. And what I would like first I would like to ask everyone is, how many of you are actually aware of wallpapers or have used them in their homes, offices? What is that? And let's get a little more interactive rather than it being just one-way. So you can type in the chat box if you have wallpapers at your home, and type in a yes if you have it. If not, no. Okay, so as you type, so let's get started. And the first fundamental question which I ask everyone is, why do we actually need a wall covering or a wallpaper, which everyone asks for? What are the advantages?
So to beautify the wall.
Okay, right, go ahead.
And it will look aesthetic after wall covering.
So any other participants want to share? Okay, so advantages of wallpapers is, okay, one, it's quick and saves time. So if you have to redo a wall in less than 2 hours, so going for a wallpaper, you can change the look of your wall in 2 hours time. It has a huge range of textures and patterns. Okay, in a paint, if you see, you will get maximum colors, but in wallpapers, more than just colors, you also get a very rich textures, okay, which you can't achieve through a paint. Okay, it looks much better because it is uniform. It is also very convenient for us to all use the wallpaper. Okay, it is not dependent on an applicator. Means जब हम घर पे paint कर रहे होते हैं, so it is all depends कि वो painter का mood क्या है उस दिन पे. Okay, so if he is really in a good mood, he can give you a very nice texture paint. If not, then he can just scoop it up. So this doesn't happen with the wallpaper because it is pre printed design for a texture. There is no dust or smell when we are putting up a wallpaper. So usually हम जब भी घर में paint करा रहे होते हैं, so you have that smell of paint and oil which goes after maybe 6 hours or maybe after a day. Okay. It's also a quickest way to renovate your home. And if you have any other advantage that you can think of, do put in the chat box. Let's hear it. Now, coming to wallpapers, there are different kinds of wallpapers which are available in the market. Now, how do we classify a wallpaper is based upon what kind of a material is used. We also classify on the basis of what kind of an application process we use for putting up a wallpaper, or what kind of an area we want to put it at. So if you see a wallpaper, it has a front side and a back side. Now the front side could be just a paper, okay, जिसपे कोई coating नहीं होएगा. Another way of a front side is a vinyl coated wallpaper, जिसमें there is a small lamination which protects the paper from any kind of a water spill or any kind of a normal marks which might come up. Another kind of a front wallpaper classification is a natural raw material. So as we will go through the presentation, I will also show you what kind of a natural raw materials which can be used in a wallpaper to give it a very exclusive look to it. Coming to the back side of the paper, so paper could be again of three types. One is a normal paper, which we see everywhere. Okay. Another is a non-woven paper, which is a mix of fabric and paper. So this is a very eco-friendly kind of a paper, reusable media. जिससे paper हम design हम print करते हैं. And another category of back side of the paper is a fabric backed wall covering. So this is basically vinyl, and because it is fabric backed and vinyl, so it is more durable. Again, that it depends upon what kind of an application we have. We use the paper back and the front side accordingly. When it comes to application of a wallpaper, every wallpaper, all the wallpapers cannot be applied in the same process. So they would be, if it is a non-woven paper, okay, you need to paste it on the wall. As in, जो हम glue लगाते हैं, वो हमारे wall पे लगाना है, paper पे नहीं लगाना है. That is one way of classification. Another is कि हम paper पे glue लगाएंगे and wall पे नहीं लगाएंगे. So it again depends upon the quality of a wallpaper, which will define the application process of a wallpaper. We will come to this again in the presentation. Now coming to usage, so either its wallpapers can be used in a residential area or a commercial area. Okay, what kind of a wallpaper is to be suggested for a residential area? Again, depends upon the quality of the paper. So if you are using, if you go to a wallpaper vendor and say, घर के लिए wallpaper चाहिए, then he needs to show you those kind of wallpapers which are for residential areas. So for commercial areas which are more traffic oriented, there is more crowd moving around, so you need to take a wallpaper again according to the usage of commercial area. Like for shops or for corridors or for schools and hospitals, there are different category of wallpapers which are there. One question I would like to ask everyone is that how many of you have actually seen a wallpaper? Or have you ever observed that what kind of markings come on good quality wallpaper label, okay, which actually defines कि वो wallpaper का quality क्या है, वो कितना ड्यू रहेगा, वो किस area में लगेगा. All this is basically given on the label of a wallpaper. If you see, we call it that this is basically जन्म पत्री of a wallpaper कि उसमें क्या चीज कहाँ पे लगेगा. So these are the kind of symbols which are there. Is a little more allowed to. So this is what gives you the. And the last, if this symbol is there on the label, that means you can actually see a commercial kind of a wallpaper which can be scrubbed to clean it. So you can even with a light scrubber. This is one of the symbols. Another symbol which defines the quality of wallpaper is the fastness. So if you see the is there on the label, it is fast. So if the wallpaper is facing the window, so the color, if it is it's a moderate light fastness kind of a paper, it needs to have to be placed now far away the window so the sunlight doesn't fall on the wallpaper. So the quality of a wallpaper can be defined with this. People gives us this information. Students, whenever you are buying a wallpaper, always ensure कि wallpaper का सारा मटेरियल एक ही लॉट का हो. तो wallpaper एक बारी में जब बनता है तो एक लॉट बनता है. The same design when it is made again gets to be made on a different lot. So for one-time purchase, always ensure that your wallpaper vendor is giving you a same lot material. Now coming to another question is which wallpaper to buy and whether you are buying a regular wallpaper or a contract wallpaper. A regular wallpaper, as I said, is usually used for homes and a contract wallpaper is used for offices. Okay, so contract wallpaper like it is more specified for commercial areas. For residential wallpapers, we have different kind of patterns, different kind of design, different kind of textures. These are some of designs you can come up with using a wallpaper. So if you see these images, these are all mock-ups. They're not one but two different kind of texture and a pattern is being used to create this impact. So if it is a green room theme, so on one wall you can have a green texture, and another wall, if you see, there is a green stripes which is there, so creates an impact. Similarly with other colors. So these are all different kind of moods you can create with the wallpaper. The black and white. This is blue, yellow, whatever. Now coming to the basic pattern, whenever you are suggesting something to your client or you are making 3D, these are different kind of patterns you can use. One is definitely a 3D pattern. So this 3D pattern gives the depth to a particular room. Okay, these are available in a lot of different designs. 3D patterns with a wooden paneling effect is again something which is going a lot these days. Okay, instead of having those expensive wooden paneling, you have these kind of 3D wallpaper on a wooden panel design. So you can basically create. If you see another image on the right side, okay, there is this 3D pattern. I have used this pattern on the ceiling as well. So it gives a different impact to the ceiling with this pattern. Textures is something, if you see, is are being used a lot these days for residential and commercial sites. And people have moved away from paint, moving towards textures, because as I said earlier, that it gives a very nice and a neat looking interior. Also, the kind of impact and the kind of you can say the detailing you have with these textures, you can't have it with a paint. So textures is something you can recommend on your 3Ds and your site. Straight lines, stripes, these are basic stripes. Okay. Now the way you use these stripes also defines the room. Okay. If you're using these stripes on a vertical form, it gives a height to the particular area. So your area is width by small, so you can put a vertical line to give it a different impact. And also, if your room is by width little small, so you can give this kind of a horizontal stripe pattern effect to give it a larger look. So stripes are being used by designers a lot to change the way the room looks. Floral design for master bedroom, guest room, living room, all these are being used for a number of years. It makes the home look little more like a home. Okay, and it gives an impact of a feeling of being in a peaceful environment. So you can have these. There are a lot of designs in floral designs. Every day we come up with new designs. Chevron pattern. This pattern is used for living rooms, for lobby areas where you want to have a different style, European style of a living you want to have. Then coming to these botanical designs, a lot of interiors have started using these kind of designs for areas where there is a common sitting area, maybe a small den area, okay, where they want to have a green kind of a look into it. Okay. Accompanied with a nice furniture, okay, which complements this wallpaper design. So botanical designs are being used a lot. Trellis is again a European design, have been used for ages. So this gives for farmhouses, you can use this for bed back walls. Again, this kind of a trellis design is used a lot. It comes with variety of golden, silver colors. You must use it on to give a different impact. Straight line designs, these kind of designs are usually recommended for workplaces, conference rooms, or some area where it's a little more formal. So you can use these straight lines in those areas. Again, a huge library is there where these kind of designs are there. Different colors, and they look a little more like if it's a home office for those kind of backgrounds, you can have this. Another material, as I said earlier, that is another way of putting, classifying a wallpaper on the front side, which is on the different kind of raw materials we use on a wallpaper. So this is what we call fusion of materials, wherein we use on the front side real wool, real silk, okay, on a wallpaper. We also have wallpapers which has linen, real linen fabric onto it, or a suede fabric. All these are exclusive high-end wallpapers for premium residential interiors. Okay, what we really need to take care whenever we are using these wallpapers on a site is it should be dust free. Okay, in those kind of air conditioned places you must be using it, because if it is a wool, it will definitely attract dust and you won't be able to clean it much. Cork and mica is another category of wallpapers, have been used for I think 10-15 years. We've been using this on site. It gives a very raw look to the area, so you must use these kind of cork and mica wallpapers. Are now available in variety of colors. Now we also have colors like teal color or an aqua or a olive color in these kind of materials. uh, Another category for residential wallpapers is the branded wallpapers, quite famous. We have this Roberto Cavalli wallpaper. If you ever come to my studio in Gurgaon, I can show you the Roberto Cavalli 6th edition, 7th edition. The 8th edition of Roberto Cavalli wallpapers will be coming by May or June. So if you want to have these kind of PDFs of these wallpapers, you can write into me or fill in the feedback form at the end of the seminar. I can send you the PDF of these branded wallpapers. Apart from Roberto Cavalli, we also have Lamborghini as a brand which also designs the wallpaper. We have Sabyasachi wallpapers. The 3rd edition of Sabyasachi wallpapers is also available now. We also have this Italian designer, Cristana Masi. She's a very known designer in Italy, and she's coming up with a new collection every 6 months. And we have the complete range. So this is an interesting brand to look in whenever you are planning a Italian kind of a style to your home. Then apart from this, now if you still need some more designs, I mean the patterns or the branded and the fusion of material is not satisfying your site, so then going for a customized wallpaper, wherein you have either your design and we can get you a similar design to what you are looking for, or we have these custom designed images made by graphic designers, and these can be custom sized according to your wall size. So this is something which is a growing trend, and as designers, you must incorporate your own designs in your site. And if you need the printing part or how it has to be executed, you can get in touch with me. These are very dramatic wallpapers, showstoppers. For powder rooms also, we've been using these kind of customized wallpapers a lot. And this is how a customized wallpapers being going for a particular site, wherein first we choose a particular image which has to be used. Then we take dimensions of the wall, okay, according to which the design is then made. So if you see this particular site which is visible on the screen, so the building का जो हमने ऊपर का और नीचे का जो part हमने blank छोड़ा है, that has been left according to this AC which had to be placed on the wall. Also, there was a sitting which was there on the bottom side. So we had placed these buildings so that they don't get cut and you are able to have a customized wallpaper. So this kind of placement of design you can do only with a customized wallpaper. Again, if you see this image, so this image had to be placed in a manner wherein, if you see this 72 inch by 36 inch, this is basically a bed. So इसके आगे एक bed आना था. So we had placed the design in a manner where the windows are actually in symmetry with the bed, and the AC is not cutting any kind of a design. So this kind of detailing you can do. Coming to another category, which wallpaper to buy, the second category was this contract wall covering, if you remember. So contract wall covering are basically those kind of wallpapers which are heavy duty for corridors, hospitals, and for commercial areas. Okay, you must use only and only a contract wall covering. These are more sturdy, can be cleaned easily. Again, for lift lobbies, and if you see in a cinema hall you won't get those residential textures. You have these contract wall covering. So this is there. Again, a huge. यहाँ पे you have more of textures rather than design. And again, a library is there for you to explore these kind of contract wall coverings. The next part of wallpapers, which is a growing concern, is the sustainable product. So we have wallpapers which have these kind of certifications. Okay, how durable they are, what kind of a ink is being used on a wallpaper, whether it is VOC, low VOC products, what kind of fumes are being generated. So all these certifications are there for your client if they are very environment concerned client. So you must go for these kind of sustainable wall coverings. Sustainable wall coverings, you also have wallpapers which are like grass cloth or a cork wallpaper. These are renewable products, so they grow again and again. So grass को लगाने में कोई issue नहीं है. Cork is again which keeps on growing all the time. So these kind of environment-friendly wallpapers are being used. Coming to another question, after knowing what all wallpapers are there, what kind of wallpapers are there, we need to know where all wallpapers are used. And if I ask you, what is your answer to this question? So usually we get this answer as wallpapers are used for residences. But this is not the only places where people are using wallpapers these days. People are exploring wallpapers in n number of places, which is like a retail outlet, boutiques and showrooms में wallpapers बहुत लग रहा है क्योंकि वो सब. And we have these kind of designs which are very Indian. So if your boutique is mostly Indian wear, so you can have this kind of designs and create an impact. Also for offices, as I discussed, office में wallpapers बहुत लग रहे हैं, conference room, cabins, your pantry, all those cafeteria, that is where wallpapers are being used. Customized wallpapers are being used a lot in offices. Another category of wallpapers is an acoustic wallpaper, which absorbs the sound. So this is something, a new development which has come. So instead of having those acoustic panels, you can also have acoustic wallpapers. And the best part about these acoustic wallpapers are these can also be custom designed. So if you have an image for your home theater or audio video room, okay, you can create an acoustic wallpaper based on that image. To know more, get in touch. I'll let you know what kind of a designs can be made for acoustic wallpapers. When it comes to events and exhibitions, it is a very time-bound kind of exercise you need to do. You need to prepare the complete stand in less than 6 hours or maybe maximum a day is what they give you these days. So for those kind of areas, paint is little difficult because it takes time to paint a wall. It's a manual job, and also it takes time to dry the wall. So if you have to put up any accessory on a exhibition stand, जब तक आपको paint सूखेगा नहीं, आप उसको नहीं लगा सकते. So for these kind of events and exhibitions, wallpapers are the best options, wherein you can do the whole job in 2 to 3 hours. It is readily usable after the installation, so you can do whatever accessory you want to put it. So those can be done. So for events and exhibitions, if you're designing a stand, always going for a wallpaper. It will help you in saving a lot of time as well. For restaurants and cafe, if you see any cafe these days, so they have their customized design. We have a lot of design based on the cafe theme. So if your cafe theme is whatever jungle theme or a safari theme, you can definitely have a design according to that. For hospitals and clinics, we have another category of wallpaper, which is antibacterial wallpapers. Okay, so those are another new category we recently added. Also, we have these fabric-backed wall coverings, which if you see can be cleaned with a sanitizer, which can be cleaned with any chemical, diluted chemical, so to make it a little more sanitized. So for hospitals and clinics, another category of wallpapers are available. So if you are designing a clinic, going for a wall covering with specialized wallpapers instead of a paint. So that will help you in sanitizing the area again and again. Ceiling is another wall, is what we call, okay, where wallpapers are being used. So if you see on the screen, you have this golden pattern which was there. We had done this site recently. So this is there to give an impact to the ceiling as well. Also, a lot of 3D designs are being used for ceiling. So for kids room, if you want to have that galaxy kind of a look to the ceiling, or that sky effect, or a star and rocket effect, all those things you can create with wallpapers. Uh, there's a huge scope for this kind of designing. So always incorporate these elements whenever you are designing an interior. These are some of the projects we had done. This is 14 projects in Gurgaon. We had done the conference room. This is a residential area. These are the, so this particular home had this brief of a straight line furniture and a modern looking. So we gave them designs accordingly. This is another wallpaper site we did. The difference in this site is if you see clearly there are certain profiles you see on the wall. So these are PVD profiles, very in thing these days, and wallpaper enhances these profiles a lot. This is something जहाँ पे वो ज़्यादा visible है PVD profile. So this is something you can do. You can also create a very different pattern with these profiles. So whenever you want more design options, you can let me know. This is a living room of a home in TLF we did recently. And now coming to what kind of an paste we need to put for a wallpaper. So again, wallpapers को लगाने के लिए we have these very specialized glue which comes from Germany. Also, Asian Paints is making these glues. So these are the mandatory glues you must use, and not the local glues which are available with the installers. So whenever you have an installer, always ask them what kind of a glue they are using, because अगर glue अच्छा नहीं रहेगा तो paper कभी भी ठीक से लगेगा नहीं. And coming to us, why you should come to me for a wallpaper is because I have the best collection of wallpapers in India. I have executed more than 42,000 sites in the span of 15 years. And we sell a lot of wallpapers per month. I can get you installation services pan India. So if you are choosing a wallpaper in Delhi and you want the installation to happen in Calcutta, that is quite possible with me. We have all kind of luxury and premium wallpaper designs. Some of them I already mentioned, but I do have something more whenever you come across. We get the site inspected by experts before taking up an order. Also, the execution is being done by expert installers who have an experience of more than 10 years. As I said, we are using the best adhesives and tools installers. So all those are there. And this is there, and I'll share a feedback form very soon. Then you can fill it up, ask me any questions, or let me know what is your feedback. So thank you, Swati ma'am. Nancy, are you there?
Yeah, hi sir. Yeah, I'm there.
So if anyone has any questions, anything, jump on, ask me any question related to wallpaper, any query, or you want to have more details, you can let me know.
Sir, do you have any wall covering of glass?
So we have a wallpaper which has glass beads on it. So there's a pattern, and with pattern के ऊपर we have this glass bead. Come across, I'll show you that particular pattern. Also, at times we use wallpapers on a glass. So both things are possible: wallpaper on a glass, and yes, wallpapers with glass, real glass on it is there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Guys, do you have any query? Do you want to ask any question regarding wallpapers, or how we can choose the wallpaper for the clients and anything? Anybody has any?
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Yes, good morning. Yes, tell me.
Sir, I have a question to ask. जब हम वॉलपेपर लगाते हैं तो समटाइम्स इट हैपेंस कि अगर मॉइस्चर आ जाता है वॉलपेपर के ऊपर, तो वॉलपेपर अगर जिससे वाइट कलर का है या क्रीम कलर का है, तो उसके ऊपर ब्लू कलर के या कलरफुल पैटर्न्स आ जाते हैं ऑटोमेटिकली, अगर मॉइस्चर उसको थोड़ा सा भी बाहर से मिलता है तो वो ऐसा क्यों होता है, वो आई वांट टू आस्क.
So whenever this is Ria, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Ria, thank you for this question. This comes to my mind. One is whenever there is a moisture on a wall, and if you know it before putting a wallpaper, you should not be putting a wallpaper. In case
Okay.
you don't know about it, and these kind of marks come visible maybe post installation, तो इसका मतलब है कि इस wall में moisture है. So whenever there is
Okay.
a moisture, and because we are putting these wallpapers with an adhesive, now adhesive is basically a chemical. Okay, so
Okay.
when this moisture interacts with this kind of a chemical, तो वहाँ पे कोई ना कोई fungal या कोई ना कोई bacteria grow होता है. This is
Yes,
the
yes,
reason we
exactly.
have these kind of patterns which are there. So the best is to remove the wallpaper immediately, treat the wall, and then only and only if there is no moisture, put a wallpaper.
Okay. So there is any other solution for this, that we can delay this fungal thing?
No, we can't, because this is basically a wall का एक basically impact है. Okay, so the only way to treat is to treat the wall with any kind of a waterproofing from the outside, or these days you also have these waterproofing solutions for the interiors. So that is something you should do.
Sir, I have a question to ask, one more. अगर हम जो उनका ग्लू होता है, अगर हम उसके अंदर जो दीमक का तेल होता है, अगर हम उसके अंदर मिक्स करके फिर ग्लू पे करके पेस्ट करें वॉलपेपर को, तो विल दैट बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर दिस और नॉट?
Again, दीमक is not a problem. The problem is the moisture. अगर आप
Yes.
दीमक को उसमें डाल दोगे, तो अगर तो दीमक होएगा तो फिर तो again not advisable for those kind of places. So but the
Yes.
main problem is the moisture. तो अगर wall में problem है तो wallpaper या paint या कुछ भी आप कराओगे तो उसमें issues तो आएंगे ही.
Okay. Okay. So there is no solution for this, right?
So wallpaper is not a solution for this. You can go in for these days. You have this PVC paneling coming these days, or tiles is a prominent solution or the best solution for this kind of a wall.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So what is the span of a wallpaper? मतलब कितना duration तक sustain कर सकता है?
So I have had sites where wallpapers are there for 10 to 12 years without any issues. Okay. Again, as I said, the wallpaper is just a thin layer, thin decorative layer. तो मेन तो वॉल है, वॉल के ऊपर एक पेपर लगाते हैं. ओके, अगर वॉल में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होएगा, पपड़ी निकलेगा या फिर मॉइस्चर आएगा, तभी वॉलपेपर खराब होएगा. एट द मोस्ट क्या हो सकता है, आफ्टर 2 or 3 years you might have this joint coming out, and for that either you can call in our installation team, they can do the repairing part, or just take a Fevicol का वो छोटा सा glue and paste it back. So durability of a wallpaper is there. It all depends upon the wall का क्या situation.
Okay, sir. So one more question.
Yeah.
So how do we clean wallpapers? Like, if a kid having a Coke or something else like soft drink, and somehow he spill it on the wallpaper, so how can we clean it?
So if you remember in the initial part of the presentation, I had also shown you the kind of wallpaper. So either it was the front side of the wallpaper could be a paper, it could be a PVC a coated paper, or it could be a heavy vinyl wallpaper. So if you
Yes.
have a kid at home, then going for either a PVC wallpaper, PVC coated wallpaper, or a heavy coated vinyl wallpapering. उस पे आपका स्पिल का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. But if it is a paper-based front end kind of a wallpaper, तो उसमें आप ज़्यादा clean नहीं कर पाओगे. So choose a wallpaper as per the application.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to ask something?
Okay, so how many of you want to have this latest PDF of Sabyasachi wallpaper? You can raise in their hand. Okay. Ashika, Kashish, Riya, Yashika, Sudeep, Pravid, Aisha, Priyanshi, Tushar, Sanika. Oh, I think people are listening to me. So yes, I will send the PDF to you. All that you need to do is just fill in the feedback, put in your email ID, and I will send the PDF. Not just Sabyasachi, I'll also send you the robot of one PDF. All those who are able to fill up the form, you will get. So how many of you are designing anything these days? I mean, is there anyone who is doing a 3D of a residential area or a commercial area? Okay, so I think this is it for the day. Anything else, Nancy or Swati ma'am? Let me know.
No, thank you so much, Karthik sir, for this beautiful knowledge and sharing your experience for this material and telling them to be used like good way in their future projects. And it's a request from the students that can you share this PPT to Swati ma'am so that they can go through this PPT everything, and if they have some questions they can ask from us, or we can give you another thing so you can clear their questions and doubts something.
I'll send this PPT to you, and you can definitely get back to me anytime for your
Thank you so much, Karthik sir. Really, thank you so much for this beautiful lecture, such a knowledge, and it's thank you from behalf of my students and my department faculties as well. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure was all mine, and it was great interacting with you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.